Okay, now let's get into a bit more depth. So the first question we want to tackle with a little bit more detail here is if AI, crypto, and by extension the stock market is in a bubble at this point. So there's a lot of commentators that are saying that we are in a bubble. That is an emotionally loaded word. So I don't like to use it because it does bring a lot of fear into the equation. We want to be able to ensure that we are investing without allowing fear or greed to cloud our decisions. So the bottom line, though, is that if we look back historically, whether we look at building canals, railways, electrification, early industrialization, the internet telco situation, you do not see a bubble form until you get to a time where companies are making investments that have negative returns associated with them. Now, what that means in terms that we can understand is that companies, for instance, in 2000 and 2001 and 1999 were building cell phone towers that had no subscribers, or they were laying fiber optic cable that carried no signal. That is definitely not the case today. We know even as late as last quarter that companies like Microsoft were throttling client demand, which is another way of saying that they could not make enough sales. They do not have the capacity to make the sales. So that is by definition not a bubble. There's real demand at the end of it. It is, it's there. And I would say that this quarter's results, we are seeing companies that are the customers of companies like Microsoft and Meta beginning to use these AI tools to enhance their own businesses and therefore buy more services from companies like Meta and Microsoft. That is not a bubble. Now, everything could become one, but we're not there yet. We just haven't seen those type of extreme returns. I know returns have been very, very strong, but we also have to remember that if we go back to the internet telecom situation, in 1998, 1999, the NASDAQ went up over 80% a year, 2 years in a row, and we haven't seen anything like that. I mean, geez, I hope it's coming. So the bottom line is that a bubble may form in this area, and I guess in my more cynical moments, I believe that it probably will. However, there are no indications that it's here, and this is also part of the risk management process. We need to rebalance portfolios. We need to be looking at the macro situation, and we need to manage risk, which is something that we're always keenly aware of. So if you'd like to discuss this a little bit further or go into a bit more detail on our assessment of the situation and what we're looking for, let us know. But the bottom line is that we're just not seeing those signs at this time. Those signs of a bubble may emerge, but we're just not anywhere near it yet.